Yo, what's good, everybody?
Hi, everybody!
So I'm always late to the party, as you guys know. So I finally found a way to lazy chop on Ableton. I know this is not groundbreaking, but for anybody that's in the MPC workflow or used to working with the SP404, it's a real easy way to get from a sample to a chop. I finally found a way to lazy chop without needing to go buy a Push 3. And the best part about it, is completely free if you have the Ableton suite. A company called AZ Lab came up with a Max for Live plugin that lets you lazy chop in any using any MIDI controller, whether you have the Akai MPK25, or for me, I'm going to be using the SP404 as usual, and you could chop in real time without having to double click to manually put in the points in the Ableton Simpler. And for the people over at Ableton, there should be no reason why this is not a built-in feature inside of Ableton. People want to lazy chop. We already paid X amount of money for the DAW. I shouldn't have to go spend another $1,000 on a piece of hardware in order to do something that can be done in literally every other program. So if you don't know what lazy chopping is when you are going through the sample and you are tapping to the beat and putting your chops in real time manually. It's a lot easier, and like I said, I just came from, dipping my foot into the MPC workflow, and I really enjoyed being able to lazy chop directly from vinyl. Also, when I'm working with the SP404, I'm always lazy chopping, just to get it started, and then you nudge the chops if you missed or anything like that. So, once again, Ableton, you're fucking up. But I must reiterate that this will not work on Ableton Lite or Ableton Standard. You must have Ableton Suite in order to use a Max for Live plugin, which is also, another thing that's kind of weird. Come on, it's 2025, lazy chop. I'll drop the link down below. If you have Ableton Suite, you could download the Max for Live plugin. Shout out to AZ Labs. They're in no way sponsoring this video. They don't even know I'm doing this video. And like I said, they've had this plugin for a couple of years. I'm just super late to the party, but it seems to be a game changer for me. So we're in Ableton, and I already got a sample in here. So what you're going to want to do is open up a simpler. I know the command, it's Command-Shift-T to make a new track, but you're basically just opening a new MIDI track. I have the simpler as my default MIDI track. To do that, load up a MIDI track and put whatever plugin that you would normally use for a MIDI track, right click, select as default MIDI track right down here at the bottom. I have it as the simpler. Copy that, and take your sample and you drag it into your simpler. Then you go to your Max for Live plugins. I have it in the audio effects, and here it is, AZ Lab pad slicing mode. And you drag it behind your sample. So now you have to trigger it by pressing this button. Make sure that's lit up the yellow. And then after that, you're gonna go down to the bottom left here, which says slice. Go to slice. Right now, it's set to transient mode, which is, some people might like that, might be able to use that. I'm going to manual. The key is to pick, it's already set directly at the beginning. So I'm gonna mute this sample that's on the track because I'm not gonna use it. The way this SP is set up, it's kind of strange. So I'm gonna go to Utility, System, MIDI mode A. MIDI mode A. I think it's only 16 chops that you could do, but that's just specifically for the SP. If you have a MIDI controller, it's going to be laid out across all 64 keys if you have 64 keys, or 88 keys even. So this is basically your middle C or your first C, number 13, and it goes from 14. It goes left to right and up is what it is. So I got my sample. I already pitched it up just in case the YouTube goons are watching. I have it at 160. And then you literally, as you're chopping, you just press the next key. So watch. And now you can go through and clean them up. It would be cool if you could map the knobs to scroll. Maybe you can. I just don't know. I just don't know that you can. And then I'm just going to clean up these chops. So no matter where I am, unfortunately, when I use that mode, there's only 16 chops. So no matter what bank I'm on. Like I said, that's only specific for the SP44. So if you have the MIDI controller, you can lay your chops all across the board. But just for demonstration purposes, I'll show you on the SP44. So now we got our chops. Mess around. Pitch it up a little bit. I'm actually going to slow it down. So you have it warped to your grid, just like if you would if you dragged it directly onto the timeline. All right, let's just try record something in. Keep the metronome on. Something to that effect. Just because they're just like sample chops, I'll quantize them. Speed it back up. All right, let's just finish the beat. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually do it again with the drums. Chop the drums in simpler. Just throw a drum break in here, one of my drum breaks. So I drag it directly into simpler, go to slice, go to manual, warp it so it's on the grid, move the first one so that it's right at the first transient hit, and then chop it up manually. My bad. I have to put the max for life. So you see what happens when you don't have that plugin. Put it there, pad slicing. So let me just clean this up real quick. Yeah, I'm not even going to clean up the whole thing. Just to get a working file, I'm going to transpose these drums down. Something like that, but I'll try not to quantize the drums. Give it a play. Let's add a little percussion loop. Or like a shaker loop. Let's go shaker instead. Sure. But definitely got to turn it way down. And you just do all the things you would do with any normal beat. Since we're here, add a little bit of that 4/4 dust. And then let's go over to my favorite bass line. Play the first half first. Yeah, sometimes you gotta Frankenstein that shit together, bro. One piece at a time. This Max for Live plugin is an absolute game changer for my workflow in Ableton specifically. I have no idea why Ableton hasn't implemented this into their program. Somebody give me an answer, a logical answer. I dare you to. But until they do, this is the way I'm going to be chopping samples on the fly in Ableton without having to buy a push. Because the weird thing is this feature is available on the push. So go figure. And the fact that this is free, shout out to AZ Labs. This is a no-brainer. Like I said, I'm going to leave the link in the description below for where you can go download this plugin if you have the Ableton suite. If you like this tip and you want to see me do other Ableton stuff like that, let me know down below. Do all the things they tell you to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys go hit me up on Patreon. Even sign up for free. We got a bunch of other content over there for you. So make sure you guys go hit it up. Patreon.com/producedbyfinn. Hit up the website, producedbyfinn.com. And with that being said,